Everyone, welcome to my video, Jupiter in the second house. Before we begin, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And please don't forget to press the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Your support is greatly appreciated, so let's please begin our video today. So our video is on Jupiter in the second house, and we'll begin by first discussing what Jupiter is. Now, Jupiter is the lord of the ninth house, and is the lord of the 12th house, which is the natural houses of Pisces and Sagittarius. Now we're talking about Jupiter in the second house. From the second house, Jupiter will also aspect the 6th house, the 8th house, and the 10th house. And because Jupiter aspects the 5th, and the 7th and the 9th from where it is sitting. So in this case, we're talking about Jupiter in the second house. So Jupiter is the most important planet after the moon, and the reason being is the moon is your mind, and Jupiter is your luck. So what luck factor you bring into this lifetime is dependent on your Jupiter placement, whether it's exalted or debilitated, whether there's aspects to it, will determine the quality of your life. So Jupiter is representative of the judges and the advisors, the scholars and professors, the experts, the gurus, the fathers and father figures. So you can see a commonality here. These are all highly educated, professional, wise people who are, in a way, they're all willing to help and teach other people. So internally, what Jupiter shows is your ability to judge and your ability to advise other people. And you do this by mastering a knowledge. So you get really good at something, and then you share that knowledge with the other people. And Jupiter is a natural writer of laws, and it represents the laws of the world. So it's naturally the lawyer of astrology as well. And it likes people to follow those laws. And if you're following those laws, then you're doing well by Jupiter. And if you're not, that means your Jupiter is not well aspected. Jupiter's qualities are of wisdom. They're also of education. So your education is dependent on your Jupiter and what kind of education it's going to bring to you. So it covers your basic to your master's, your PhD. So from basic beginning to your full high learning is all Jupiter. It's a karka advising and counseling, and the effects that Jupiter will have on your life is what kind of prosperity and what kind of fortune it is going to bring into your life is seen through Jupiter. So Jupiter is basically the luck factor that you bring into this lifetime. And Jupiter brings expansion, and it brings optimism into those areas of life where Jupiter is present. And where Jupiter is negatively affected, it'll take away the expansion, and the optimism won't be that at such a high level. The expansion won't be at such a high level. But if you have an exalted Jupiter, then you'll see great expansion and great optimism. So what does Jupiter like? Jupiter likes rituals, religion, tradition, culture, education, travel, morals, and values. These are the things that Jupiter likes. These are the things that Jupiter represents. So when Jupiter is sitting in a place in your chart, it's going to bring these things into that area of your chart. So here we're talking about the second house, so it's going to bring these elements into that second house. Second house is representative of your family, so you'll see that in that area. So Jupiter is also the karka of husband and children. It is the planet that blesses you with husband and children. The other male energy in your chart is the Mars energy. Mars is your male friend. It could be your boyfriend. It could be brothers. It is the alpha male energy in your chart, but it is not the male energy that represents husband and children. Jupiter is what gives you husband and children. So Jupiter in the second house, what does that mean? So the second house represents your immediate family. It is the family that you were born into, because the first house is you, and immediately you're born into your family. It's your values, it's the values of the family. It's your throat region, your voice, your speech, the type of speech you have. It's your prominent voice. It's your face region. It's the food that you eat. It's your nose. It's also represents your family business, the food that you eat, the financing, and also your savings, how much your money that you can accumulate. That's your savings. So the second house is all these things, and now we're putting Jupiter into that house. So Jupiter into that house, Jupiter is expansion. The second house is your family. So you end up with a large family because that's where it's growing. It brings expansion into this area. So you're born into a large family or your family grows. Jupiter is expansion. It's good luck. It's gurus. The second house is it's your voice. So what does that give you? It gives you great speech. It gives you a sweet sound. It gives you someone who has wisdom in how they speak. They have sweet sounding voice. It's a soothing voice. It's all good things to do with your speech. It can make you a teacher. You can teach through your voice. You use your voice to teach other people. It can make you a public speaker. And you also will speak the truth because Jupiter is morals, it's values, so it's ethics. So you'll bring that truth into your speech. You'll bring wisdom into your speech. Jupiter is it's all things good, and it's all good luck. And the second house is your face, so you're getting good luck in that area. So that makes you very attractive. You can have a very nice face. So Jupiter in the second house, what aspects does it have? So Jupiter will aspect the 5th, the 7th, and the 9th from where it's sitting. So we're looking at the Jupiter sitting in the second house here. So here it's going to look at the 6th house, it's going to look at the 8th house, and it's going to look at the 10th house. Okay, now this is the house of your debts. These are hidden things and secrets and inheritance. And this is your status, your career house, the 10th. So when Jupiter is sitting in the second house, it's looking at those areas of your life as well. So the aspects affect those areas of your life where Jupiter is aspecting. Okay, so here, if you're looking at the career house, house of secrets and inheritance, of debts, so the 6th house is debts and enemies, it's pets, it's illness, and it is Jupiter's expansion, right? So it's going to bring more of these things into this area of your life. Okay, and in the 10th house, it's going to bring expansion to your career and your status. So you'll see growth here. And in the 8th house, it's the house of hidden things. It's secrets. It's your in-laws. It's the occult. It's also long life. So Jupiter, because it's growing, can give you a long life here. So Jupiter in the second house can give you a big family. You can also enjoy sweet food. So it'll give you a sweet tooth. And it's not the most fabulous for money here because they say wherever Jupiter sits, it kind of lacks. You will bring more, you'll have more luck after the birth of your child. That is seen with Jupiter in the second. It'll give you a sweet sounding voice. Your speech will be sweet. There will be a sweetness about how you talk. You won't be a blunt type of a person. This also can make you into a business woman or businessman. So Jupiter in the second, the 4th, and the 6th usually will you're looking at the 10th house from these houses, right? So that has to do with your career and business. So it brings these things into your life. Also, you'll like the sugary foods, so Jupiter here can bring some weight as well. And if Jupiter is playing a positive role in your chart, then you'll see benefits from your Jupiter in these areas as well. So the 6th house, the 8th house, and the 10th house. So depending on, is it very, is it exalted? Is it debilitated? Where's Jupiter's, where's the rulerships of the houses? How are they relating to one another? And is there any conjunction with Jupiter? Is there any other planets sitting in the second house with Jupiter? All these things play a part in what the end result of your Jupiter will be. But if Jupiter is negative, then you will see these effects play out in that way in your chart. So you can't just look at one chart placement. Okay, you have to look at the whole chart as a whole, and then you can make your determinations on in how Jupiter is going to play out for you. So look at to see if your Jupiter is sitting with other planets, okay, who the rulership is of that house and what sign it's sitting in. All these things will help you determine whether you have a good Jupiter. Note, charts must be looked at as a whole to determine the quality of that planet and of that house and how it's affecting the houses around it. So please be mindful of that when you're making your determinations. Looking at one house and just one placement will give you an incomplete picture. So thank you for watching this video today.